Hello, hello, hello. It is me, Danielle Carmelita, your favorite tarot reader and astrologer. This week is going to be kind of wild, okay? We've got a dramatic full moon in Leo. It's about to spark some emotions because it's a fire sign, shake up maybe some relationships, and yes, it'll probably stir up some drama because Leo is all about the dramatics. But that's not all. We have Mercury sliding into Pisces, and then later on, it will enter. This Mercury in Pisces is really important because it will enter the pre-shadow retrograde phase, and then it'll enter Aries, and then it'll be retrograding in Aries, and then it'll come back in Pisces and retrograde in Pisces. This is really big because it's also going to conjunct Aries, which is going to be retrograding. And we're already in a pre-shadow phase of that. So that's a lot of retrograde energy and a lot of chaos, and it's creeping in on us. And I want you to get informed really early. And I've got all the details, how it's going to affect our mind, our communication, our intellect, how we process information. I guess that's intellect too. I'm also going to discuss how it affects trade and our finances and maybe even your love life. Okay. Plus, we have the sun entering Pisces this week, and it's going to bring a lot of dreamy spiritual vibes. But trust me, it's not all smooth sailing. We do have Valentine's Day, and that's the day Mercury will be entering Pisces. And it does have some romance stuff, but I'll get into the details of what Valentine's Day is going to be looking like. Plus, I'm going to be doing horoscopes. I'm going to be doing tarot. I'm doing horoscopes for each sign. I'm doing a tarot reading for each sign. I'm going to do a tarot for the collective. We're going to be sharing some wild predictions, and of course, spilling some astro tea about some predictions with politics, maybe even celebrity and the collective. So grab your journal, maybe light a candle, sip your tea, get your matcha. I have my green tea here. And let's dive into the celestial roller coaster. And before we jump into anything, remember to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. And yes, let's get started.
3, 2, 1.
I love you.
Okay, so let me show you the important dates of this week. This is the dates. I discussed this in our February video, but we are going to get more detailed in this video. And we have February 11th, the sun is in Aquarius, it's going to square Uranus in Taurus. February 12th, we have the full moon in Leo, and it's going to be 24 degrees. And I'll get really detailed into that. On the 14th, I'm going to talk about the vibe in the sky on the 14th and Mercury entering Pisces. On the 18th, we have the sun entering Pisces as well. So that is what we have for the weekly transits. I'm going to break each one down. Before I do that, again, we got to do our due diligence as a YouTube watcher, as a podcast listener, if you're listening to this via podcast. And if you're loving getting deep with astrology and tarot, you will really love my exclusive community. And it's just $4.99 a month. I know with the cost of everything is costly, but if you purchase this community, then membership, then you can ask me personal questions about your astrology and anything regarding your chart. You'll get access to bonus readings. You'll get a discount to other things that I sell on my website. Also, I do the weekly astrology. I break that down even more in that page. I do daily readings, tarot readings, weekly readings. More insightful stuff, more behind the scene things. Like if I want to talk about Kanye West, we're going to the community group. And insider tips, and I share it only with the members. Plus, you'll be able to be a part of the community with more like-minded individuals. That's all about astrology and tarot and all that. But if you're like, I don't want to pay for anything, I actually have a lower cost ebook. If you want to really know how to read your chart and you can't afford a chart reading, I have an ebook on how to read your personal chart. Also, I have something free. I have a free newsletter, and it's the best way to stay connected. You do get the weekly astrologies. I throw some extra tips in there. And let's be real, social media can delete anyone's account, okay? And YouTube and even Spotify, Amazon, all that is somewhat of a form of a different control energy. Someone is controlling, monitoring what I can say and what I do, and all that can disappear tomorrow. So I don't want to lose touch with you. So if you're really into my content, then please get my newsletter, because I'm able to not only send you exclusive content and offer you special offers, but I'm also able to stay in touch with you, because I'll have your email and I'll be able to email you in case I ever get lost in this astro world. Okay, of technology and social media. And then also you'll get the latest tea on everything if you miss a video, or if you want to look at something really quick and want to know what happens on Wednesday. The links to join my community, to get my ebook, and also to sign up for my newsletter is all down below. And yeah, let's dive into this astro roller coaster. And let's get started. So we're going to first start with February 11th, which is today. And I always do Mondays from last week's video too, just so you know. Now today, we do have Mercury is combust. If you look, Mercury is sitting close to the sun, but not too close. And when it's combust, that means that it's not a cazimi, right? And that the Mercury is not really working that well. Mercury is in charge of our social media, our technology, technology, our communication, our day-to-day travel. So maybe the car is not quite working. You riding your bike to work may not be working. But when it's combust, it's happening when Mercury is too close to the sun, and it could be blinding or overheating the mind, while this can make the communication feel rushed or overwhelmed. Aquarius also brings the more futuristic ideas and more innovative thinking. And so this could be like a mental burnout, you taking into too much information. Aquarius is very intellectual, so it wants to have very stimulating conversations, and it could be a little overwhelming, like too much information, or maybe people are too blunt. I do want you to understand that at the same time, Pluto is at 2 degrees. 2 degrees represents Taurus. So there's grounded information or transformation happening because it's in Aquarius. So that's why I said information. Also, there's a focus on resources and security in regards to this transformation of social media or crypto or anything dealing with the future. I know this morning I was listening to a podcast and they were talking about AI, but a higher form of AI, QI or something like that. I can't remember it, but they want to have security over it, and they don't want like Bill Gates to own it or someone to monopolize over it. And that's the perfect example of Pluto in the 2nd degree in the sign Aquarius. But maybe something is slowing up far as like a powerful change or a powerful transformation or like healing with power. A resistance to change also could be happening. Pluto is at its early degree stage still. We're talking about Pluto sitting here. It doesn't matter. I mean, it matters where you're sitting in a chart, but ignore where it's sitting. I'm just using this as a blank chart for everyone to see. But it's at its early stage, so it's still trying to transform some stuff. We're still getting early in transformation, far as freedom of speech, far as social media, technology, the future, AI. All that, social structures and people rebelling for a greater cause, all that is still early. And there's still a desire for power and knowledge and obsessive thinking with power struggles in communication or with social media. So just get ready for that. And we'll still have some future things happening for some hidden truths coming out in regards to the people's rights. Okay. Now, we do have Venus sextiling Pluto. I do want you to understand that sextile is positive, and it's not a big thing, but it is something that if we work on it, it will come and work for us. It's very positive. It's not, I don't want to say very positive. It is positive. However, you have to do the work for it. And you're talking about Venus is about relationships, maybe even a strong woman. But there's transformation in this. There's intense emotions regarding this. There's fearless love, authentic expression. There's sensuality, even like achieving some money of some sort or what you naturally attract, or creating a very balanced or self-love energy. There's transformation maybe when you're on social media or something dealing with your future and your hopes and dreams, or maybe with a collective group or a collective friends. Okay. But maybe something intellectual kind of breakthrough happening. And there's something with your values and your relationships that could be transformative. And you could be really authentic with your true authentic self happening with this Pluto energy. Now today also is the sun is not only just combust Mercury, which could be like blinding Mercury a little bit, even though Mercury is walking away from it, so it could be a little less invasive. But we also have the sun squaring Uranus, and Uranus is in a sign Taurus, and when it squares this planet, you have a collective or a group that creates a challenge, maybe on social media. I don't know, a group maybe like the conservatives are causing some problems, or maybe there's or any kind of group. Okay, a book club of some sort. The Mexican mafia is always what I think of a group. But unexpected events, a desire for independence, unpredictable behavior, a conflict between progress and stability. There could be some financial upsets, rebellion, instability. Sudden identity shifts could be happening as well, because you are talking about the ego. There's something, maybe even technology is not working the way you want it to work, or maybe there's some financial disruptions. I did have to restart my computer today, so that could be happening. The sun moves every day, so every day it changes. Now this is happening at 23 degrees. 23 degrees is an Aquarius degree, so it could be something really dealing with navigation, air flights, travel, something dealing with major technology in the future. Okay, but you have to be very flexible, you have to be adaptable, you have to ground yourself. You can really be into innovation and trying to learn how to fix a problem. Just don't be frustrated. It's a very stubborn square, meaning it doesn't want to change, it doesn't like change, but maybe this is going to make the change be possible. Avoid any rash decisions. Okay, but with this, you could be learning something about technology or your future or social media, or maybe there's like a social upheaval happening, or maybe the financial market, the stock market is not, it's crashing. That could definitely be happening. Just expect the unexpected, and when you have that, you want to be adaptable, you want to be flexible, you want to be chill. Okay, let it go. Now on the 12th, we have the full moon in Leo. Let me see if I can put the exact chart here. We'll put it here so we can have the exact chart here, and it is going to happen at 5:53 a.m. on Wednesday. Today is Tuesday as I'm filming this, so if you want to do any type of full moon magic, you want to do it the day before. But yeah, in the morning, people will be feeling it. Maybe even in the evening, there'll be a little drama. Now, this full moon, as you can see, is combust at Neptune. Mercury in Aquarius, so that Mercury is going to cause some problems. Okay, also you have that it's squaring Uranus, which I've discussed both of those, but this is also now involving the full moon. I do want you to know that this is happening at 24 degrees. It is a Leo degree, and when you have this 24 degrees, that's not a Leo degree in Leo. When you have it in 24 degrees, you have to round it up because it's not exact. So I'm doing the Sabian symbol, and the key word for the Sabian symbol in 24 degrees, 25 degrees in Leo is a large camel crossing the desert. If you hear any noise in the background, my son is cooking food in the kitchen. It smells so good. And I also have like fresh bread that just beeped that is ready. Cash, there's bread. There's fresh bread if you want the fresh bread in the bread maker. Yes, you can take it out, but it's hot. But it just beeped, so it's ready. No, if you want it. Anyway, so it's a large camel crossing the desert, and when you have this, the key word is adequacy, and it speaks of courage, personal endurance, the ability to overcome outer limits and come out of things on top. Come on top of things. Be on top of things. Okay, it's about being fearless based on your experience and the ability to survive hardships on a practical level. This may take the form of unrelenting persistence and a refusal to give up until every possible means to achieve your goal has been exhausted. It's all about doing it yourself. It's all about perseverance and not giving up. This image of a large camel crossing a desert suggests itself self-sufficiency. Whatever it takes for the need to survive, it lives within you, the individual yourself. The desert symbolizes that the environment is going to give you little to survive. Okay. Therefore, the symbol implies that it's all about not relying on the outer energy, but the internal energy. Okay. Your greatness advancement, your greatest advancement lies in taking things one step at a time and keeping your eye on the goal ahead. Believe in yourself. You can do it. You can do it. You can do it at risk. I talk when I talk in my notes, I do a voice memo, so of course that didn't go right. But you can do it on your own. Guard against writing over others or stepping on others in trying to achieve your goals. Okay. Don't That's a very lack mentality, and the moon wants to do sometimes that lack energy. And don't be selfish. This is not a selfish energy of accomplishing your goals. You're able to accomplish your goals without stepping on others. There is enough abundance in the world. God has given enough resources for everyone in the world. So also don't overburden yourself in trying to take others' responsibility. This is more of a energy for you achieving yourself. You're on the stage. You're trying to be. You're not trying. You're going to be courageous. You're going to be brave, and you're going to achieve this. Okay. The key words for this Sabian symbol with this full moon is to be persevere, independent self, self-sufficiency, self-reliance, stamina, determination, endurance, survival. Now, this also is a 24-degree, and that represents Pisces. Pisces can represent anything dealing with sleeping, drugs, alcohol, being lethargic, the unconscious, subconscious mind, our psyche, emotional dejections, your feet, endings, death, being unclear, the shadow, and madness. Okay. Now, when you have a full moon in Leo, which will be happening tomorrow morning, and you could be affected tonight. Okay. It means that Leo is all about yourself, right? The ruler of Leo is the sun. So it's like the opposite energy here. So there could be some balance here. But it's all about yourself. And it's also about being creative and your self expression and having confidence. And Leo loves to be on stage. The full moon in Leo encourage you to show the world who you truly are. Be unapologetically yourself with expressing your talents and your passions. Okay. A strong desire to step in a spotlight, maybe more at home, or maybe when it comes to your emotions, or maybe exploring your hobbies and what you want to truly achieve, even romance, but maybe more when it comes to your emotions and at home or behind the scenes kind of energy. Leo's very dramatic. There's a dramatic flair. It can amplify the emotions of the moon, right? Especially when it's regarding your self-worth. Especially when it's regarding a romance of some sort, because that Leo energy does represents like a new romance. So it's very interesting because we do have Valentine's Day coming up. So there could be issues with romance. And this is also dealing with communication and expect the unexpected energy. And it's not quite working the way you want to. Okay. You may want to seek validation, or you're feeling hurt from others and you want to be acknowledged about that. Or maybe you want to be acknowledged about that. Or maybe there's like this emotional outburst that could be happening with this full moon. The full moon is always about a balance. Okay. You have the male energy versus the female energy. You have the external versus the internal. You have the masculine versus the feminine, the father versus the mother. And there always needs to be a balance of that. And your emotions currently right now is in a Leo energy when it hits this full moon. Not currently right now, but when it hits the full moon in Leo. So when it hits the full moon in Leo, it's all about yourself. And you're very emotional about yourself. You're really like, I really want to express myself, or I really want to have fun and be childlike, and really want to be on stage. I really want some attention. And then at the same time, that masculine, that's your internal feeling. Like this is all what you're feeling internal. But far as the masculine or the extrovert feeling is really like detached from the emotions. And it's not about yourself. It's really about your groups and your friends and the future. And you're sitting here trying to like, sew, or like do some type of arts and crafts, or trying to have fun as a kid. And it's all about serious and rebelling for the future or for a collective. And that has to have a balance. Okay. So it's your ego versus your being the ego versus like you being on stage. There's like an imbalance for that, or an imbalance. Okay. But there's also romantic energy. So be aware of that. Oh, this also represents leadership. Strong leadership. Sure, this could affect Trump. Trump does have a Leo rising. I did not look at his chart, but this definitely could affect Trump. I do have a comment here. Let me see. It says, you were right about the Super Bowl. I was right. Thank you, Greek son. Okay. Yes. Give me my flowers. I've been right about not a few. a lot of predictions. I also in my tarot reading predict a fire for LA. I also discuss the fire and literally carrying your home on your back and not feeling secure on with the Mars retrograding in Cancer. I mean, those are just the things. It's been several. The only thing I have not, only one, is Trump being president. I predicted that Kamala would be president. At the same time, the tarot that I pulled did say that Trump would be in leadership, but I was just like, no, because he has so many issues in his chart. Anyway, but other than that, we learn and we move on. Okay, so I definitely learned from that. That was actually my first prediction of a presidency, and I've definitely learned for that. So the future president predictions, I bet you I'll be on it. Other than that, but yes, I was right. Thank you, Greek Sun, for acknowledging that. I was right about that, and I don't know anything about football. Okay, so there is that. But this full moon also too is opposing. So the full moon in Aquarius in Leo is also opposing that Mercury, right? So you have, which I discussed, that Mercury is sitting there combust and conjunct the sun, but when it's opposing Mercury, when your emotions is opposing what you communicate, then you're also talking about talking too much of self, detached from emotions. It's yourself versus your collective. Maybe your emotional expressions is not really being logical, or there needs to be a balance with that, or there's a conflict again for the collective thinking versus yourself. It's like, I want to focus on me, but here it's not going with the group, it's not going with the collective, it's not going with the government. You know, that Aquarius could represent the government of some sort. Very dramatic communication could be happening here. But yeah, we'll see how that plays out, because also it's also squaring this energy here, which is Uranus, and the full moon squaring Uranus is expect the unexpected. There's a lot of surprises. This is also the influencer, the social media person, someone who really communicates everything online. That could be affecting them, and they could be on stage. It could also be a child influencer, because Leo does represent child celebrities. It represents the influencer. It represents the actor, the actress, anyone who's on stage. It also represents leadership. So it could represent Trump. I didn't pull his chart up. Let me actually pull his chart up. Trump. And let's see if this affects him in any way. The full moon, Trump is on the inside. The moon is sitting on top, not directly, but it's sitting very close to his Mars. So him trying to pursue something, there is going to, the way he's wording it is not going to quite work right. Or maybe this is something with Israel, because Israel is an ally. This could be also an open enemy. So anyone who's really against the tariffs is quite not working right, and he's kind of emotional about it. Trump is in a way he's achieving things. He might be a little petty. Also too, and these are things that we will be able to see. This also could be dealing with JD Vance. I know he recently said, you know, they asked him, should he run for president? He was like, it's too early. This represents a partnership. This could represent his wife. This could represent JD Vance. This could represent an ally. This can represent an open enemy. But there is something that they are quite confused about, and it's really going against his emotions and him trying to achieve something as a leader. Okay. So that is what we have for Trump. Just wanted to quickly, because I knew he had Leo rising and Leo placements, but you could be feeling restless and patient. Because remember, we are dealing with that squaring of Uranus. So really unexpected, like Trump could that day be tweeting something, and it's like, oh my gosh, why did you tweet that? I need to also, I keep forgetting that I need to break down Kanye West's chart as well. Also, I want to say with the whatchamacallit, the Super Bowl, I quickly wanted to say that I did say that they would be down at the beginning, and then towards the end they started to score a little bit more. They didn't change, but anyway, that unpredicted energy. Also too, I did say there was a transformation, like someone who won before is going to lose this time, like they're handing the trophy off. And then also Yeah, anyway, the Uranus made me think of the Super Bowl. Anyway, but moving on. But Uranus is also with this moon. You're talking about being impatient, restless, sudden reaction, very impulsive, manic mood swings. Okay. So just be aware that you could be quite moody and erratic. Yeah, but there's some unexpected breakthroughs. There's tensions in relationships, maybe even a shakeup in finances and resources, because you are dealing with that Taurus energy, and Taurus does represent what you deem valuable are the stocks. Yeah, but leadership on display for sure. A focus on children and education. Something with social media, definitely, or technology in the future. All could be playing a major role in just authority and leadership. Doesn't have to be Trump. It could be any kind of president or leadership of some sort. It could be like the king or anything, but just stay flexible, embrace innovation, communicate with care, reevaluate some finances and resources. Okay. With this full moon, you want to embrace your authentic self. You want to shine bright like a diamond, but really shine bright like gold. My husband is obsessed with gold. He is learning so much about gold, you guys. And this could be like a plot twist with the gold too. Gold, and because of Trump and the tariffs, the price of gold, this could change something there too. Yeah. Okay. So that is what we have with the full moon. I am going to go over the horoscopes with the full moon too, just so you know. So let's go back to what we are talking about with this week. I want to talk about February 14th. February 14th on Valentine's Day. Okay. First of all, on February 14th, we have Mercury is in the sign Pisces. It fully enters the sign Pisces. And let me see, I have dates on here. But first, let me say, what do we have that? First of all, Mercury doesn't like to be in Pisces. It's in its fall because it's not really communicating very clear. There's emotional thinking. It's not great with words. You could be empathizing with others instead of really being logical. But there is a sense of charity and really feeling compassionate on people. Mercury in Pisces is great when it comes to the intuition. So, like, you can guess something really well. You know how they play the game and they move the cups? When Mercury hits Pisces on February 14th, you can be like, it's under that cup, and probably get it right. There is telepathic energy. You could be oversensitive. You could be flooded with fantasies, easily influenced. There's dishonesty. There's delusions. Yeah. So when people say you're a delulu, yeah, you might be really feeling it February 14th. A lot of secrets too. A lot of things hidden in the dark. Also, a lot of discussions about endings and death. And that's crazy because it's Valentine's Day. But, Pisces is a very loving energy too. It's a very feminine energy. It's very compassionate. So it does have that love energy. Now, when we have Valentine's Day, right, and you have Mercury entering that sign Pisces, is very potent. It's very strong. Okay, it's at 0 degrees. So there is a lot of energy of poetry. Like someone might write you a poem, something very creative or something very emotional, and they're able to really express their feelings. There could be some deep emotional connections, like spiritual connections or emotional connections. You feel like you're more in tune. A lot of daydreaming of romance, a lot of daydreaming of like who you love or someone you admire or your secret crush, but also to a lot of nonverbal connections you have. But just be aware of any type of miscommunications, because there could be vague conversations on Valentine's Day. Like, okay, so you're going to take me out. You're going to be my Valentine's. Yes. Okay. All right. I will talk to you later. Bye. And then they stand you up, but it's because you weren't clear on, are you taking me out? When are you taking me out? So you could have some misunderstandings or very ambiguous, like last minute kind of energy. Now, Pisces is also very moodable and it's water sign. So, like, yeah, I can take you out tonight at 2 p.m. But 2 p.m. is not night, but 7 p.m. And it's like they call back and say, you know what? Let's change. Let's just stay in. Let's do this. There is that. Also, Valentine's Day could easily turn into, we got drunk, we decided to take some drugs. Just remember, there's like escapism with Pisces. So avoid any type of like difficult conversations, because you may lead yourself into like, I'd rather get drunk. I don't want to address this. Okay. Yeah, but falling for the fantasy, falling for the fairy tale, that also could be happening for Valentine's Day. So, but if you're new in love, go ahead and flirt and be creative. There could be some mixed signals. It's okay. have fun with it, okay? But if you're like in a long-term relationship, you're married or you've been in a relationship for longer than ever, then this is a great time to have some deep emotional conversations and reignite that romance. Now, if you're single, okay, and you're like, I just want to go out and be by myself, that's great, because this is a great Mercury in Pisces is great about solitude and loving yourself in solitude, and self-love rituals, and really doing yoga and meditation, and just romancing yourself and your inner world, and even being spontaneous with that. Okay. Great time for writing some love letters and having and planning for like that dreamy date, or sharing some type of spiritual experience with each other, or just having like watching a romantic movie. All that is great. Now, Mercury in Pisces, besides just Valentine's Day, it's all about your intuition over logic, right? It's about information overload from the subconscious energy, okay? Yeah, but trusting your gut feelings when you have Mercury in Pisces, and really having strong connection with spirituality or God or your religion as well. Jupiter also is involved in religion, but Pisces is very strong with the feeling of the religion, okay? Yeah, but there's creativity, you're very artistic, there's imagination, there's compassionate communication. Lack of clarity, though, that's why the energy of what you feel is more important than actually what you can say and what you are hearing. Let's be very clear. When Mercury's in Pisces, it's all about what you're feeling, not what you are hearing. It's all about your intuition. It's all about what did that dream say. So just be aware of that. So globally, people could be really creative, artistic, increase on mental health, because Pisces does represent the people who cannot, I always try to find a nice word for it, but insanity, and it represents the people who are really psycho. I don't know, crazy people, right? Because you are talking about people who are so far and beyond, because that Pisces is so beyond you can't reach. I'm actually reading this book, Chaos, and I just read the first chapter, and it's talking about LSD, and that is very Pisces energy, just really being beyond that, you are not even in the mental world, right? But also there's spiritual awareness and a lot of misinformation and confusion, because that's also dealing with that lost in the sauce energy. But we are going to have the pre-shadow phase, and I'm going to pull the dates up for Mercury as it's in Pisces. There is a pre-shadow phase. When does the pre-shadow phase begin? Okay, February 28th, and this is February 11th. Okay, so when the pre-shadow phase enters, when we enter a pre-shadow phase in Pisces, it's about being foggy and not quite understanding things, emotionally feeling a little lost. Yeah, just be aware of that, and just don't fall for anything. That could be an illusion, like a false prophet, or like a false love person, or just someone lying to you. Your intuition might be in overdrive, but don't jump to conclusions. Okay. Yeah, there's symbols, and there's dreams, and there's gut feelings, and you want to listen to them, but hold on to them. Don't react to them. Okay, so like write them down and then react to them when Mercury enters Aries. Okay, because then it'll be another retrograde energy, but you won't be able to really comprehend it until later. Okay, but anytime Mercury is retrograding, or any planet is retrograding, it's about redoing and slowing down and repeating and reassessing. Okay, a lot of RE words. Okay, but there's escaping reality. People will probably be more on drugs. A lot of creative blocks will be happening. Just be aware of that. Just major mixed signals. Again, Mercury represents us driving. So people could be dying while driving, not necessarily you, but you could be hearing this in the news. A lot of technical glitches starting, a lot of delays when traveling out in the world. But just slow down, reflect, document everything, ground your intuition, and revisit, and don't initiate. This is not the time to say, my gut is saying this, so I'm going to do it. No, my gut is saying this, so I'm going to write it down. I'm going to pray about it. I'm going to think about it, and I'm going to react on it later. Okay. Just remember social media, the media as a whole, there may be some misinformation. There may be some truths being revealed for as things that are hidden, and that is very secretive. There could be an emotional way for as a collective, like people could be feeling more empathetic about Gaza, or about someone who is lacking, is having empathy for the lack, not empathy for like someone who's achieving all these things, okay? But also it could be chaos with the collective or chaos with the world. This is also going to be close to Venus. So all that with the love interest is going to be very interesting, or with the ally or a friendship of some sort. Yeah. So here, let me tell you the dates of Mercury, and we're going to talk about some predictions, okay? So February 20th, Mercury is going to be squaring Jupiter. And this could be, you could be feeling overconfident and communication overload, a lot of exaggeration ideas. People are speaking really big. They're promising things they can't deliver, a lot of misinformation, a lot of overconfidence. Just double check all the facts, okay, around that time. Now, February 23rd, we have Mercury is going to trine Mars, and as Mars is retrograding in Cancer. So you're talking about emotional courage. Trines are very positive. So this is a great day when you're trying to achieve things and thinking things and communicating things, and when you're achieving it in the action of stability and your past, or something that's regarding your safety. Speak your feelings, because there will be some truth to it, or revisit a old conflict. All that will be positive. You can address any type of emotional matters, because that Mars retrograding is a little defensive. However, it's repeating and redoing some steps, okay? So go ahead and do that. Now, I do want to say, between February 20th to February 25th, there could be some media misinformation or some leaks coming out. It could be some media scandals, okay? Expect some confusion in the news that's being reported. Now, on the 25th, we have Mercury is going to conjunct Saturn in Pisces. This one is kind of big to me. Saturn is very serious, is very pessimistic, and it could be causing some depression. Now, the sextile is going to sextile Uranus, which helps this out a little bit, okay? But this conjunction makes things very serious. There's a very disciplined tone. There's emotional boundaries. There's some harsh truths. Now, when you have Uranus added to it, there's some unexpected surprise that's very positive, or there's an opportunity here. And maybe there's some clarity or some intellect energy added on to this small confusion. I'm going to say small, okay? But this could be dealing with the government of some sort, or politics, because Saturn represents the government, and it could be some confusions here, or some secrets, or trying to control the narrative, and they don't have control over it. They lost control. Also, this could be dealing with cryptocurrency, the stock market, or something dealing with AI, and there's some restriction, or the government's going to announce it of some sort, okay? Now, also on the 28th, Mercury is going to retrograde at the pre-shadow phase. Retrograde, I discussed that, but remember, there's miscommunication. You're revisiting something and revision. There's revisions, or there's resurface of things that are misunderstandings, something dealing with your emotions, something that's ending as well, because that's what Pisces represents. Now, on March 1st, Mercury is going to conjunct the North Node in Pisces. Now, the North Node is all about your future, and it's about your karma, what we're meant to do in this lifetime. So when you have it with when it's conjunct Mercury, then you're talking about having fated conversations. You're talking about karmic connections. You're talking about spiritual growth. You're talking about your destiny, and you're having insights with that. Now, when Mercury starts to get close to all these planets, when it gets close to Saturn, when it gets close to when it gets close to the North Node, Mercury's not working its best. So there's going to be some more confusion, more than ever. So you're going to be more confused until it actually sits on top of each other. So you're going to be more confused about restrictions and boundaries. So if we're talking about the collective, the illegal immigrants in the borders, that could have some more confusion. Now you're going to be more confused far as like restrictions with yourself, like what are you restricted to do. Also, if it gets closer to the North Node but it's not on top, you're confused on what are you supposed to do in this lifetime. What are you meant here to do? It's like you can't quite pinpoint it. That can be coming a confusion. Also, too, Mercury is going to conjunct Neptune, and that's going to happen March 2nd. And when it conjuncts Neptune, there is this clarity on your creativity and inspiration. Also, at the same time, there's confusion, a lot of lost in the sauce, a lot of deception. Okay, your intuition could either be working really good, or it could be very chaotic. Okay, so be aware of that. Be aware that there could be also some natural disasters, especially when it comes to water. Mercury trining Mars retrograding Cancer. Remember, it's linked to your home and your security. When you have that Neptune and Pisces conjunct that energy. Yeah, a lot of disasters and floods, oil spills, or hurricanes. Okay. Yeah, also too, that Neptune energy does represent like a disease of some sort. So be aware of that. But tsunamis, heavy rainfalls, all that could be happening around February 23rd to March 2nd. Okay. A little bit before that, but just be aware. Don't say I didn't tell you. Okay. Now, and then Mercury, March 3rd, will be entering Aries. That's a whole nother video, but Mercury entering Aries is quick thinking, it's impulsive, and then it's going to conjunct Venus, and they're going to be Venus is going to be retrograding. It's going to conjunct twice Venus, so get ready for that. I have discussed that in my Venus video. Do I have my Venus video here? It's definitely on my playlist. So go check out my playlist, but it's definitely on that playlist. Yeah, but that will happen. Yeah, I've discussed Mercury retrograding in Aries, and then it'll be retrograding in Pisces. It'll come back in Pisces, retrograding March 30th. So just be ready for all the confusion. Get ready for all the spirituality. Get ready for redoing any type of emotional ending, delulu, confusion, beyond this world kind of energy. Also, this is connected to the eclipse. I did a video on the eclipse, so all that is affected. Mercury is getting very deep, especially because it's dealing with that the eclipse, and it's also dealing with the Venus energy. So things are going to be very strong. Mercury goes direct. April 7th, and then it'll fully be out of the shadow phase April 25th. Okay, so around April 25th, around April 7th, all of this will be amazing. Everything will be, you will have clarity on any of the problems that you're having. This is mostly going to affect all of my mutable signs. You will be having issues, right? So you're talking about my Sagittarius, you're talking about my Geminis. You guys will be having some issues, okay? And also too, of course, Pisces. And then also this is going to affect my Virgos, because you can't find balance with that. But the other mutable signs will have some challenges. This is when Mercury is in Pisces, okay? Will be affecting those placements. Yeah, but there's going to be resurfacing of past issues all the way from March 30th to April 25th. So unresolved issues, global leaders will probably be making some mistakes, and it's going to be something that's secretive, or like a secret society of some sort, or something there's healing and forgiveness, because Pisces does represent forgiveness. Mercury is dealing with technology, so technical glitches, okay, throughout this retrograde, okay? AI, communication platforms, crypto, driving, your Tesla, all that is going to be having some problems. Google, X, all that's going to be emails, text messages. Just be aware of that, okay? Now let's talk about February 18th. And February 18th, we have the sun entering Pisces. Okay, so I do want you to understand, when the sun enters Pisces, there is this energy of combust happening. Okay, whenever the sun touches these things, and I don't know, I said that the confusion earlier, and it's also in Pisces, it's going to make things not work the way they're supposed to. Okay, so when the sun gets close to Mercury, and it's not exact degree, Mercury can't quite see because it's so blind. The sun's beams are so strong. So when it can't quite see, it's not working the best that it can. So I want you to understand that the sun is getting close to Mercury. And when it gets exact, that's when you have the clarity. But when it's getting like where it is now on February 18th, there's a little confusion and you can't quite communicate. Then the sun is going to move closer to Saturn. And when it gets closer to Saturn, about 4 more degrees, give it a 15-degree orb, you have that same confusion. And the closer it gets to like all the way to 3-degree separation, meaning that it gets closer and closer and closer, it's so blinding that now Saturn isn't working. And when Saturn doesn't work, you're talking about that Saturn, that's the government. You're talking about restrictions. You're talking about long-term goals. You're talking about the details and being very practical. All that gets very lost in the sauce in the sign Pisces. And then you have the sun moving into North Node. That's being confused about your future. What are you meant to do in this lifetime? Then it gets closer to Pisces. This is a real lost in the sauce energy, okay? This is when you get all the crazy people coming out. Just get ready. If you think someone's crazy and they come out on X, that is this sun combust, that Neptune energy, okay? Just be ready for that. Don't say I didn't warn you. This happens from February 18th to February 25th. And then on the 28th, we have a new moon in Pisces. So maybe that will give us some new energy and uplift some spirits, okay? So that is what we have when the sun enters Pisces. But however, Happy solar return to all my Pisces. This is great for you. The sun entering Pisces, this affects all my mutable signs. So this affects all my Geminis and all my Sagittarius. You guys are having some challenges when it comes to your ego. Okay, now it's opposing Virgo. So Virgo needs to have a balance with its practical and very logical energy versus the energy of just feel within. Okay, now sun entering Pisces is energy that you're dealing with dreams, you're dealing with emotions, you're being very spiritually attuned. It is the last sign of the zodiac, so you're also talking about endings, closures, and wrapping some stuff up. Okay, also this is the energy of releasing. So that means not just releasing, but forgiving, because there's some endings here. So it's a great time to forgive. It's a great time for healing, great time for creativity and your intuition, being sensitive. Yeah. Also, during Pisces, people confuse like the spirit, and it could be the spirit of wine with the Holy Spirit. Okay. Yeah. Addictions, we've discussed that. This is also the energy of giving to others. So altruistic energy. It's very selfish. It is someone that is going to give themselves and sacrifice themselves for others. So that is what we have when all these planets here are in the sign Pisces. It's really about loving. But remember I said that combust energy during this February time, okay? The end of February, towards the end of February, I want you to comprehend, like when you're giving someone charity, you have to focus on your safety. You have to have some boundaries, right? So it makes me think of a person who was helping a homeless person, and she like put him in his car and she gave him a home. All that is very lovely. At the same time, that homeless person during this time could be crazy and he could physically hurt you. Okay, we don't have Mars. Technically, Mars is trining, so it's positive. So there may not be any physical violence, but there could be a lot of deceptions, okay? And it could be affecting your heart, your emotions, and it could be very overbearing, okay? So just be aware of that. But a lot of manipulation could be happening. There could be internal victimism. This is also an energy like, like I'm the victim. Okay. Be aware of that. There's a lot of lack and insecurity happening with this, a lot of changing too. It's a mutable sign. So you're talking about a chameleon kind of energy. But there is a spiritual awakening that could be happening. A lot of humanitarian efforts, spiritual movements could be happening. Something with water, a lot of discussions of water, and not just like a lake. I'm talking about the ocean, the sea, underground, the beyond. You know how they had that Titanic submarine. Be aware, there is going to be news media all about endings, deaths, secrets in the ocean. Okay. Yeah, just embrace some compassion, explore your creativity, set some boundaries, reflect and release, and ground yourself. Always ground yourself when you have all this mutable water energy. Now I'm going to talk about the sun and some important dates regarding the sun. Okay. Now the sun is going to square Jupiter, and the moon is going to be the first quarter moon. And this is all about some growing pains and regarding some information, because you're talking about Jupiter's in the sign Gemini. So a lot of information coming your way, and you have to achieve something. And there's some challenge here, but you're trying to achieve something. Okay. This also could be dealing with social media. This could be dealing with some early education and you learning something. Yeah, but there's a challenge here when it comes to your ego and your emotions. Okay. Now, March 8th, this is a great day, because whatever you're trying to achieve, especially when it comes to your emotions or your security or your safety or something dealing with your mom, when you have this the sun adding this energy to Mars, you're really going to get something accomplished. So March 8th is really about accomplishing something. And it could be dealing with something with your emotions, your ancestry, your past, your home. It's all working together. Now, around March 12th and around March 6th, you have that Saturn combust energy. And again, this is something that is like there's no limits. You have no barriers. There's no boundaries. Be aware of that, because it also could be some depression, a lot of diminishing of your life and responsibility or your energy. Okay. Now, when it has the Kazemi, when it gets closer, there's going to be positive energy. There's going to be a aha moment, maybe even something dealing with the government. We'll get some clarity on what the government is doing or some long-term goals for as yourself or with the government, right? March 15th, it's going to conjunct and then combust, right? The North Node. I talked about that, and that's adding confusion to your future and your karma. And then the Neptune energy getting closer around that time, around March 15th. Just be aware of the confusion and lost in the sauce and blurred boundaries. A lot of looking at everything in a rose color lens, and it's not happening. A lack of compassion with charity also happening too. Next week we have next week, we have Mars is going to go direct in Cancer. This Mars retrograding in Cancer is what was causing the fires. So this is going to be great for the collective. I'm going to pull some tarot for the collective, and then I'm going to do the horoscopes. So let me pull some tarot and see what we have for us this week. Okay, we got Valentine's Day. We got Mercury entering Pisces. We have this Temperance card, and the Temperance card represents abundance. It represents having balance. Okay, everything in moderation. It also represents alchemy, right? So adding to things when it needs to be added. Okay, remember that the Leo full moon is all about relying on yourself and depending on yourself and using the tools within. And you want to think very positive, and you want to be optimistic when achieving something with that full moon in Leo. Also, we have a lot of confusion. And when you have confusion, you want to be very optimistic. Also, you want to be giving, you want to be charitable, you want to be generous. Because there is love with this, okay? So that's what I have for this represents abundance, it represents opportunities, it represents religion, it also represents law. Because you want to have the social rules and you want us to work together, okay? That is what I have for the tarot for the collective. I am going to take a sip of water, and while I take a sip of water, we are going to do my sponsor, and then we'll do horoscopes. Hello there, my beautiful souls. I am Danielle Carmelita, your favorite tarot reader and astrologer. Are you ready to take your spiritual journey to the next level? Introducing Danielle's Astro Tarot Elite Club, your exclusive getaway to daily insights, cosmic guidance, and so much more for just $4.99 a month. As a member, you'll receive daily readings designed to align your day with the universe's energy. Start each day with clarity. Okay, so let's get into the horoscopes. I turn that commercial. Sometimes I turn my commercial off because I'm like, I'm ready. Okay. Let's do the banners. And if you guys have any questions personally and you're here live and you want me to answer, I could pull a tarot for you guys. It's okay. Now let's talk about Aries. Okay. And I may not see it because I'm looking at the chart. Yes. Check your sun, moon, and rising sign. When you check all three, you get a full reading. Okay, so it really works out for you. Also, if you only know your sun sign, that's great. It's going to really talk about what you're achieving. Okay. But we are dealing with a full moon, so you may want to do your moon as well. But you gotta, it's 2025. It's time to get that chart. Okay. Okay. So let's talk about. I'm going to look at the chart, but I'm not going to put it up because I always forget to change it. Anyway, so we're going to talk about Aries. Aries, we have the full moon in Leo. The full moon in Leo is going to be in your 5th house. This is all about your true expression. Also, we have Mercury entering Pisces, and that Pisces energy is all in your 12th house, right? This makes me think a lot of energy of being religious, tapping into that spirituality. The 12th house is all about your subconscious. So it's a time to reflect, time to release and forgive. Also be really creative. That full moon in Leo is going to really shine the energy of being creative and adding passion, or maybe something with your romantic life. Expect the unexpected shifts when it comes to your finances. And that is in the sign Taurus. And that is major about what you value. But you want to trust your intuition and don't rush decisions, especially when it comes around money. Also, you're being very serious, and hopefully you're being serious, or there's restrictions when it comes to your spirituality and your beliefs. Really spiritual placement. Also, this is really serious about being alone and solitude and really tapping into your intuition. When Mercury gets into Pisces and the sun enters Pisces, there's a lot of focus on that 12th house for you, and the 12th house is extra potent. So just be careful not to be lost in the sauce, a lot of delusions, and not falling for anything, just for everything. You really want to tap into your spirituality and learn how to tap into your intuition. Okay. Now, for the card, we have the Five of Discs. I do know that the Pisces energy, the Five of Discs represents a lack of mentality. When you have Aries, when you have Pisces energy, it does make you feel insecure. It makes you feel like you don't have it, you can't achieve things, and there's a lack mentality. But remember, I pulled that first card for the collective reading, and it was all about Jupiter, and it's very positive. And you need to change that lack mentality into positivity. Also, when you are feeling lack, it's a great time to be charitable. So go to a nonprofit and volunteer, because when you help others, you realize that your life isn't doing so bad. Okay. But do know that that full moon in Leo is going to affect something with romance. It's going to affect something about you being on stage, or you being a leader, or you being creative. Okay. There's emotional energy there, and there's some confusion there when it comes to your mentality. All right. I will see you next time. But when you're thinking in lack, it's time to give. It's time to be altruistic, and it's time to forgive. All right. I'll see you next time. Bye. Okay, Taurus, this full moon in Leo, it's happening in your fourth house. This is all about stability in your past, a lot of emotions dealing with your home life. Maybe there's a sudden change in your home life. Maybe your friendships are under review because they're dealing with Pisces, and there's some emotional clarity that needs to happen there. Now, the full moon is going to bring a focus to your home life, and it's going to cause some problems with your career. You're like, the career wants to move on in the future, or maybe with a group or something, and the emotions are like, no, but I'm here about myself. Okay. Be aware of that. It's between personal comfort and public recognition. Mercury in the sun in Pisces is going to light up that friendship circle sector, but Uranus is in the sign Taurus of unexpected shifts in your identity, your true self, because you are a Taurus rising. You may feel restless and ready to break free from old routines. Embrace change is pushing you toward growth, even if it feels uncomfortable. Now, I do know when you have that moon in that insecure fourth house, there is this feeling insecure. Maybe there's some conflict at home that could be happening for you. A lot of Pisces energy and a lot of confusion when it comes to your future, your hopes and dreams, when it comes to technology. Just be aware of that. We have the Ten of Swords, and the Ten of Swords means that there's some endings happening. A lot of communication that could be hurting your back, far as your career. Okay. You feel like people are stabbing your back, and it could be the thoughts or the communication. Just be aware of that. But you are, and you also have that moon, so it makes me think of the full moon. Yeah, the full moon could be causing some disruptions far as communication at work. Okay. And you feel like this is a sudden surprise or a hit with you. And maybe this could be something in the email or something with social media. Yeah, it's hurting you. However, it's going to move fast. Okay. Because this is the end of it. And there's going to be new infinite possibilities for you coming up. Okay. So just know that this is the end and you can bear it. All right. And it's just words and it's just thoughts. It's not actually the truth. All right. I will see you next time. Bye. Okay, Gemini, this is happening, this full moon, and we got Mercury. Full moon is happening in your third house. This is all about career. Well, not career. This is all about communication, right? We have all of Pisces energy in your career house, okay? So career revelations, communication shakeups, balancing logic and emotions. When Mercury, your true ruler, right? Because you are Gemini rising, enters Pisces, you're talking about your career, your public image, all that comes into focus. Now, the full moon in Leo, it's going to illuminate your communication sector. You're talking about either your community, your neighbors, your siblings, or something that you're trying to learn. A lot of traveling within your community as well. But the Mercury is opposing that moon. And when the Mercury is opposing the moon that it's in its own home, yeah, there could be maybe a balance here with your logic and your heart. Uranus and Taurus is unexpected news and shifts in your mental health as well. And that is in your solitude and your lacking and your insecurity. There could be some surprises there. It also represents a surprise ending that could be happening. But you want to stay flexible. You want to plan. Plans may shift. Be aware of that. But new opportunities are around the corner. Because you are closing some things up with some unexpected surprises. There are some closures going on with your career and your future. And you'll get that very clear during Pisces season. But far as the full moon, it's dealing with something that is dealing with your community, your anything dealing with communication and writing. Okay, we have the Nine of Swords, and this makes me think of that Uranus in the 12th house. You're having some anxiety, you can't quite sleep. That could be happening during this full moon. Just when you have this anxiety, let's see what you can have. You need to focus on what you have and not focus on what you don't have. Okay. So it looks like you're being negative on just focusing on lack and the insecurities instead of focusing on your gift and the abundance, which we pulled earlier with the Jupiter card. So be aware of that lack mentality. All right, Geminis, I will see you next time. Bye. Cancers, let's see what we have for your full moon. I am a Cancer sun, so I am here with you. Cancers, we have this full moon in Leo in your second house. So there could be some finances or what you value happening here. Also, we have all your Pisces energies in that ninth house. And the ninth house is about really expanding your world. It's the bigger picture, it's the publishing. Also could be dealing with religion and law as well, right? So we got some financial surprises. We have some spiritual growth that could be happening here and emotional release. Now, the full moon in Leo highlights your finances and your self-worth, but that Uranus and Taurus could bring a sudden shift in your friendship or maybe a group. And there's a challenge here that is happening for you, or there's a challenge with your future and your hopes and dreams, or maybe something dealing with social media or an influencer of some sort, right? And it could be changing a shift in your friendships or your income. Meanwhile, Mercury and that sun in Pisces invites you to explore your spiritual growth and higher learning, really tapping into your intuition and something that's so beyond your immediate world and your small community, but more of a cultural sense outside of that little community. You might feel torn between practical needs and a big picture dreams. Balance material concerns with emotional and spiritual nourishment. Pisces in that ninth house energy, there's going to be a lot of confusions on your philosophies or your religion, maybe a lot of confusions with astrology as well. So be aware of that because that ninth house does represent astrology. But there could be a lot of confusions or being lost when traveling because that is a travel house. Okay. We have the Queen of Swords. It's very positive. This is really being logical. Really seeking the truth. With the Queen of Swords, there's a lot of clarity. You are going to be able to use your words. It's very positive. The Queen is someone who's very compassionate with their words. The Queen is also someone who can research and help others. So that is what's going to happen with you, my Cancers. It's going to help you with all these things, especially that full moon, especially all that Pisces energy. It's all about reading and understanding and thinking logical, not just going off of the spiritual realm. All right. I will see you guys next time. Bye. Okay, Leos, we have this full moon happening in your first house. So it's all about me, 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 me. There's emotional breakthroughs, maybe with your relationships. Okay. There's also a transformation happening. There's something really deep happening, something that's not surface. Okay, when it's Pisces seasons for you. Okay, a lot of transformations, a lot of endings, a lot of changing, a lot of rebirth could be happening for you now. The Leo moon also is going to square something in your career, some unexpected something in your career. So you're talking about emotional breakthroughs, relationship tensions, Leo's unexpected career shifts. The full moon in Leo brings emotions to the surface because it's all about you and it's not hidden anymore. You'll be feeling like you're seen and heard. But that Mercury opposing in that Aquarius is going to bring some issues with relationships or an open enemy or a partnership of some sort. So be aware of that. Uranus and Taurus could bring a surprise shift in your career and public life, forcing you to rethink your direction. Now, when all that energy enters Pisces, again, there is a rebirth, there is a transition. restoration. There's some healing. Maybe you're getting some psychological healing and you're able to forgive and release. Be ready for that. Remember, Mercury's retrograding, so it's going to be repeating. Embrace vulnerability, being authentic with strengthening your connections, being authentic while strengthening your connections. Okay. Now we have the Five of Swords. Okay. This is an energy of conflict. This is an energy of fighting with your words, or there's a change when it comes to the way you're thinking, the way you're communicating, that email, that text. Just be aware of that. I do want you to understand that full moon in that first house is about you, and there is a lack of clarity going across when it comes to a relationship. Be aware of that. When you have that conflict, you need to look at this. The Nine of Cups. The Nine of Cups is all about, like, look at what I have. I'm amazing. And that is what a Leo is about. Like, you know what? Now that I think about it, I am amazing. Really bask into the energy of being content with who you are and what you stand for. Okay. I will see you guys next time. Bye. Okay, Virgos, we have the full moon happening in your 12th house. The 12th house is all about solitude and being alone. There could be a spiritual awakening. A lot of emotions about lacking, or things that are hidden, or some secrets that people really don't know. Okay. And now that moon is highlighting that, and maybe people will see things that were secretive that's going to be revealed, and it could be causing some drama. Now, you do have this lack of clarity in that 6th house, and this is about your day-to-day routine, and this is about analyzing your thoughts also. This is also organizing and breaking down things, and charity and sacrificing. This is also about work, so there could be an issue with you seeking solitude or escaping in some kind of way, and some stuff at work, so you being dramatic with an alcohol problem, and it could be causing your future at work. So be aware of that. Now, you do have all this Pisces energy, and the sun is going to enter Pisces, and Mercury will be entering Pisces, and it will be in your 7th house. And the 7th house represents your friendships, or your lover, not your friendships, but your lover, partnership, a work partner of some sort. It also represents an open enemy, or law, okay, and harmony. So a lot of introspection with relationships. Maybe there's sudden revelations about your health and your work. There's something that's challenging when it comes to a higher learning, or something that's really big in the publishing world, or something that's like more worldly. It's going to surprise you and cause a conflict when it comes to that full moon. Okay. When it comes to subconscious, it could be something unexpected as far as your belief system. Okay. Be aware of that. Be open to changing perspectives, especially around your relationships and personal beliefs. And we have the Two of Wands for you for this week's reading. For the Two of Wands is all about research and getting things together. Also, you see they have the world at their fingertips. You have to know that the world is ready for you to open up and to be who you truly are. When you're seeking that solitude, you really go within, but you have to know that the world is at your fingertips. You have to be positive. And to be positive is you have to be research backs your confidence. So if you research whatever it is you're trying to achieve, it builds the confidence. And then when you build the confidence, it builds the drive, it builds the passion, and then you get that spark of energy. So that spark of energy and that lack of mentality starts to change, and you start to see, like, I can do this. The world is at my fingertips, and something is going to cause a change for you to be aware of that. Because that 9th house looks like that's going to be a big doozy for you with this week. But we do have some relationship issues going on. It may not involve you. It may just, because when I see 7th house placement, sometimes it's just involving your spouse or your partner who's in business too. It may not even affect you. All right. Anyway, but it could be affecting your harmony and balance. All right. I will see you guys next time. Bye. Okay, Libras. Let's see. We have this full moon in Libra happening in your 11th house. This is all about friendships. This is about your hopes and dreams. This is about technology. This is about flying. Major communication here too. Okay. Also, we could have some romantic shifts happening because it's opposing the sun and Mercury in your 5th house. And the 5th house is all about romance. It's about your true expression. So it's all about you emotionally. You're attached to your network, you're attached to your friendship, you're attached to some type of club, and it's not quite getting along with your future in regards to yourself. There's an imbalance there. Now, when all the Mercury and the sun enters Pisces, there's something dealing with work. There's something dealing with your day-to-day life. There's some confusion there. There is some secrets there in charge of your work life. But that full moon in Leo highlights your social circles and friendships. But the Mercury and Aquarius opposing that, there's some tensions between your community and romance. Uranus and Taurus is going to trigger that full moon, right? And so there's unexpected tension when it comes to shared resources or secrets or something that's very taboo. Or maybe there's a transformation happening there and there's a big unexpected change far as that. Mercury and the sun into Pisces is going to make you focus on your health and your self-care, especially when it comes to the spiritual arena. Be mindful of who you're investing your time in and your energy in. Some connections may shift unexpectedly, especially with friendships. We have the Princess of Disc, okay? This is someone who's taking their time and moving really, really slow. Move really, really slow when it comes to any of your resources, especially when it comes to work. You want to move slow. Things are going to be moving fast. They're going to be very adaptable. They're going to be very mutable. And you want to stay grounded and you want to move slow. Princess. This is the prince, and the prince is all about relationships as well. So be aware of your relationships, especially at work. Also think long term, think about your health, think about your career. All that is very important. Things that give you tangible results. There, I know it sounds materialistic, but this is important for you, and there needs to be a focus on that. All right. I will see you next time. Bye. Okay, Scorpios. Let's see what we have for this full moon. Full moon in Leo is going to happen in your 10th house. There's a highlight of your career or your public reputation. It's going against your home, it's going against your safety or something from your past, which is funny because the past is also in Aquarius, and Aquarius is about your future. So maybe there is a connection there. Something from your past is going on to your future. And you're really about the present emotionally. Emotionally, you're about yourself. You're about your self-expression. You're about trying to be a leader at work or, but there's some career breakthroughs. There's something unexpected that's causing a problem within your harmony or a balance of harmony or something dealing with law or something dealing with a partnership or your spouse of some sort. The full moon in Leo illuminates your career and public life, but that Uranus in Taurus is going to trigger some sudden change in relationships. Now that Mercury and that sun in Aquarius, which is opposing, it wants to be creative and it can't really not be creative. It wants some stability. When it moves into Pisces, it wants to be creative, and it's going to move in Pisces in that 5th house. There's a lot of lessons and things moving slow and confusions as far as your true expression of who you are. Also, there's going to be, when Mercury and the sun enters Pisces, a lot of delusions and a lot of repeating steps, because remember, Mercury is going to retrograde when it comes to boundaries of who you are and you being a leader or you being creative or something with your children. But embrace being spontaneous, but avoid making impulsive decisions when it comes to your love, when it comes to your career, and when it comes to your children. We have the Magician for you. This is very positive. This is the energy of manifesting whatever you want. This is also Gemini Mercury. Mercury is going to be really important. Mercury is in the 4th house when it has that Leo energy. So a lot of themes dealing with your home and your stability in your past. And when it goes into Pisces, there's going to be a lot of confusions. You want to use all your tools that God has given you, right? So you want to use your logic. You want to be practical. You want to be grounded. You want to be caring. You want to be creative. You want to spark that drive. You want to be passionate. You want to set some boundaries. You want to be courageous. All the tools. Don't just tap into one tool, which is your intuition. No, you need to use all the tools that God has given you. Mercury has infinite possibilities. What is above, so below. Okay. God has touched you with the gift of a lot of things, and you want to embrace that, especially when you're trying to be your true self. Now, there's going to be confusions, but there's going to be a repeated energy, meaning that you're going to be able to learn something from this and you'll be able to redo it. So just embrace that. All right. I will see you guys next time. Bye. Okay, Sagittarius. Let's see what we have for you. The full moon, I'm in Sagittarius rising. So we're going to get into the dirty, okay? Themes are emotional growth, unexpected travel, balancing home and adventure. Mercury and the sun in Pisces are going to bring attention to your home life and family. There may be something, a closure or an ending, maybe something dealing with your mother or father, or maybe there is a closure or a forgiveness of a mother or a father, or something dealing with your home life, or something dealing with your stability. something dealing with your past and ancestry. Also, there can be some confusion there too. Remember, Pisces is going to bring a lot of confusion, a lot of deluluness, lost in the sauce, or over romanticizing something. Maybe you're giving charity or you're giving something to someone, and it's all dealing with that Pisces energy of mom, home, life, and yes, of the past. Now, the full moon in Leo is happening in your ninth house. That full moon in Leo happening in ninth house is opposing things in your third house. So you're talking about publishing versus writing. You're talking about the world versus your community and your neighbors. You're talking about philosophies versus like the details and just learning something, higher education and just learning something new. Be aware of that. Now, Uranus is in that sixth house, and it's going to challenge the moon. And that sixth house is about your health. It's about your day-to-day routine. It's about your work and some employees, your employees, not your employers, but your employees. So be aware of that. That full moon in Leo highlights your adventurous side, but the Mercury in Aquarius and that sun in Aquarius is opposing it. And you need to have a balance between practicality with wanderlust. Uranus and Taurus is some unexpected shifts with your health, with routines, with your pets, or something dealing with charity. Stay flexible. Travel or career plans may shift. Be exciting, but exciting new paths are on opening up for you. We have the world at your fingertips. The world. This is the world card for your tarot card. And when you have the world, she's so gorgeous. Does she look like me? I need to put an afro on. But you have the world, and the world is talking about long-term energy. And I'm thinking because this is also Saturn. Saturn is about having some restriction and really focusing on the long-term and achievement. But this is positive. There's closure. So when that Pisces energy happens, there's going to be some closure for you, and it's positive closure. There's positive endings because there'll be a rebirth of a true expression of yourself. Be aware of some illusions. Be aware of the government. You could be applying for something for the government, and there could be some deception there. Be aware of that. But the world also deals with the World Wide Web. It deals with publication. It deals with YouTube. It deals with anything that's dealing with the world collective energy. This is going to be a major focus for you. Okay, I'm going to pull another card because I'm a Sagittarius rising. This has got the Leo energy. The strength card is for you. The Leo full moon is going to be big for you in regards to YouTube and the big world energy, because that's in the ninth house. So this is going to be a good focus for you to focus on. That full moon is going to highlight something. Every time there's a full moon doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be negative. There could be a true enlightenment and awareness happening. And I think there will be an awareness for you. I feel it in my intuition. All right. All right, Sagittarius. I will see you guys next time. Bye. Okay, Capricorns, let's see what we have for you. Capricorns, we have the full moon in your eighth house. This is a house of transformation, healing. This is a house of sharing debt, like in an inheritance or taxes or loans that you owe. Okay. It's opposing that second house of finances. So there may be a financial transformation. Okay. The full moon in Leo shines lights on shared resources and intimate partnerships. Leo also represents some drama with transformation and rebirth, or some drama with things that are very taboo and secretive and mystery. Also could be dealing with intimacy as well. Okay. Now, Uranus and Taurus is going to cause some disruption or unexpected change, or maybe something with social media in the romance department because it's in that fifth house of self-expression. So something could be disrupting far as like who you truly are and how you express yourself through social media. And it could cause a problem with the transformation and the healing that is happening with that Leo full moon and your resources. So just be aware of that. Now, Mercury and the sun will be in that second house, but then it's going to go into Pisces and into your third house. And it's being really confused with communication, or when you're learning something, or maybe there's a closure of something like that. But very emotional conversations and very lost in a sauce when communicating, maybe something with your community. Someone will be could be passing away in your community, like a neighbor of some sorts, or like an older figure, because you have that that's Saturn there too. But be clear in your finances, romantic endeavors. Also, miscommunications could be happening big time. You do tap in that intuition. What do I tell you for your miscommunications? Something abrupt is going to happen. You have to let go and let God. Do not hold on tight. just fall freely and release and forgive. Okay, that could be happening. And then also we have the devil card, and the devil card does represent Capricorn. It represents Saturn. It also represents feeling imprisoned, and you could be feeling like you are imprisoned. And but this is usually because you're trapped because you're trying to be the greatest of all time, or you're trapped because there's materialism or addiction, and you're not being your true authentic self. You're not really embracing the honest truth. You're not confronting your truth. There's denial, there's resistance, there's also an illusion, and you're trying to have this illusion instead of being free. So you want to break free of the chains. Okay, and the chains is usually like because you want finances, and it's like, no, let go. You don't have to have all this materialism. That could be happening. Also, you could be taking a forbidden fruit. You're taking things that are toxic, that is not good for you. Let go of the toxic energy. Okay, and that varies because this is a collective reading. So it varies from person to person, but you know what I'm talking about. Okay, so we have two major arcanas, and these two major arcanas are really big. So this one is dealing with Mars. So there's aggression and there's big disruption in Uranus, and then this one is dealing with Capricorn, and this is also dealing with the devil. Okay, I'm like Capricorn, the devil. But I don't mean to laugh, but it represents someone who cares more about the image and really cares, and are so hardcore and are rigid in their code, and they're not releasing and letting God and forgiving and being their true authentic self. Okay, so be aware of that while you're happening this week, or while Mercury's in retrograde, or while the sun is sitting there causing all that confusion. Be aware of that. You want to be your true authentic self. You want to forgive, you want to release, you want to let go and let God. Okay, those are the most important things. All right, I will see you next time, Capricorn. Oh, you're a Capricorn. This is really resonating with you. All right, I will see you guys. Let go of the image. Okay, listen, let go of what you're trying to give to people. Okay, you need to be your real authentic self. You have the North Node in Pisces. North Node in Pisces is really like releasing everything, and you're talking about you are holding on to so much baggage because you want people to think that you are perfect when you are really not perfect, and that is very human of you to not be perfect. Let go of this being the greatest of all time energy. Anytime someone says that they are the GOAT, they are living in demonic energy. I know that sounds insane because you want to be the greatest. You want to be the greatest within yourself, but you're also human. So how is that even possible? Because you're human and you're supposed to make constant mistakes because you're constantly learning. You are not God. So how can you be the greatest of all time? That makes no sense. So when you have those people who are like, Snoop Dogg has like the greatest of all time chain, or I know LL Cool J had a song called Goat, or if someone says you're the greatest of all time, that could be a little bit different. But when you are trying to give your own title of that, it becomes a very, very, very imprisoned life, because now you're so rigid and you're so cold because you're so focused on trying to achieve this goal, and you'll step on anyone to achieve that goal. Because how can you be a loving person if you're so stuck on trying to be the best more than anyone? It makes no sense. Okay, anyway, I run into a tangent, but Capricorns, release that image that you're trying to achieve. All right, I'll see you next time. Bye. Okay, Aquarius, we are dealing with the full moon. Full moon is sitting in your seventh house of relationships. This may not affect you. It may affect your partner if you are married, or your boyfriend, or your spouse. This also full moon could be affecting some law or something dealing with an imbalance of something. Aesthetics too. You do have that Leo energy. It wants to be bold and courageous, and this could be dealing with some aesthetics. But there's a highlight there. There's emotional conflict happening as well, and it could be dealing your relationships versus yourself. So your partner is over there trying to be center stage, and you're over here trying to, well, it could be the opposite, but there has to be a balance of you and yourself and the collective and the group versus the true expression of your partner. Okay, yeah, but maybe something will be evaluated when it comes to your relationships. The full moon in Leo brings a focus of partnerships, whether romantic or business, or maybe an open enemy. There is a focus there. Now Mercury is sitting and it's opposing that moon. It's opposing, and with the sun, is sitting there with the sun. So there is a tension for the needs of others and friendships, or like a group of some sort, or something with the future, or something dealing with social media and your self-expression. All right. Now Uranus is in Taurus, and there's going to be an unexpected change. Again, this could be something from the past, like a social media post from the past. It's like, ha ha, ha, we brought it back up. Or an influencer that you used to like in the past, or you used to communicate in the past. But there's unexpected change. This could be dealing with your mom. This could be an unexpected thing that you valued in the past, and there's an unexpected change happening there. Okay. Now, when it becomes Pisces season and Valentine's Day, all that energy is going to go to the second house of your finances. So you may be confused of your self-value, your self-worth, and your finances. Okay. Be honest in your relationship, but avoid being overly detached, and balance is the key. We have the hangman. The hangman represents Neptune, also represents Pisces, Aquarius. So when you have the hangman, there's an energy of forgiving and releasing. You need to forgive, you need to release, you need to practice charity. You need to think about beyond this world, not just like the world, also the collective. There's empathy, there's compassion. Neptune is also a lot of delusions. Be careful, escapism. I would suggest all the way until when I told you Mercury stops retrograding, don't do any, just do a code like a dry, no alcohol, just no alcohol. If you are binge watching something, like, you know how you say, oh, I had a hard day at work, I am just going to like binge watch Netflix, whatever it is you use to escape, whether it's eating, try not to do that. Really try to address whatever it is emotionally or spiritually, because that Neptune can get lost in that sauce, and you want to be enlightened. Okay, because that's also what that card represents, enlightenment. All right, I'll see you next time. Bye. Okay, Pisces. Welcome to your reading. You have a full moon in that sixth house of work. There is enlightenment when it comes to your health. Also, there's some personal growth happening here. There's some revelations. Unexpected work changes could be happening. Maybe in communication, someone is talking to you or emailing you, and surprise, something happens at work, and it could be very dramatic with the employees or with your coworkers. Yes. With Mercury and the sun in that Aquarius energy, that's that 12th house, there could be something secretive or hidden that only you know about, and it's opposing the sun, and it's opposing your work, it's opposing your day-to-day habits, it's opposing how you are like operating when it comes to your organization and your mental skills, right? But it's very dramatic, it's very strong and bold, or something dealing with a leader at work as well, right? Now it's going to have a challenge when it comes to something written, something in your community, something with your neighbor. There's an unexpected surprise happening. Oh, this also could be dealing with siblings too. And it's affecting your work or your day-to-day habits. Just be aware that that's the full moon. It's going to come and go. It's part of the cycle of the moon. But there's a zenith, there's a climax happening there, and then there will be closure right before that new moon in Pisces happen, right? Now, okay, it was in Pisces and Aquarius. What is the next full moon? Now, also we have this energy moving into Pisces. This is you. You're comfortable with this energy. Just be aware it's all about yourself, and there could be a lot of people not paying attention to you. All of a sudden, you're posting things on social media. They can't see it. Just be aware of that. That could be happening. But there's something with your day-to-day routines, your health. Uranus might be in a sudden shift in work life and communication style. Be ready for emotional insights that push you toward your personal growth. Embrace self-expression, but don't neglect practical matters when it comes to your health and work. Try not to use the drugs, okay? Really pay attention to yourself. Try not to morph into other people. This is an energy of like, because when a Pisces season, you can really take on other energies. Take a shower, spend time, do a lot of cleansing. Don't be around negative people. Don't go where there's lack energy, because you really take that on. It's really strong for you. All these planets are in there, and you need to set some boundaries. And it will be happening when it hits Aries. Some boundaries. There's a lot of confusion and loss in the sauce when it comes to you and your identity. People are confused when it comes to you. What should they do with that? There's new opportunities coming when it comes to some tangible items, when it comes to money, when it comes to your health, there's some new opportunities coming away. We have the Chariot. The Chariot is also very Cancer. It's talking about your dreams. It's talking about will and determination. It's also talking about your home and your past. There's probably some information coming on from your past, and you'll be able to make there's two decisions, a right and a wrong, but you'll be able to use your intuition to move forward. Again, this represents your home. It represents your past. It also represents being empathetic and a lot of intuitive energy. So you're very strong with your intuitive energy, Pisces. But there's something going on with your home. It's very abundant, it's positive, and there's new opportunities there. So that would be probably more of the focus for you this week. But overall, with that Pisces energy, be aware that I am able to see that people are not being able to see you. I'm aware that you are being very spiritual. I am aware that you're being very mutable and adaptable when it comes to your appearance. Also, you could be lost in the sauce and a lot of escapism. Be aware of that, all right? But maybe it's the time of charity for you. Who knows? All right. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you for watching. The next video will be on the next set of eclipse. I did the first eclipse coming up this year. So go check out that video. And I also talked about how that affects Blake Lively 1,000 times, because it does. Yeah, but check out the next video. Future videos coming up. I have the eclipse video. In my group, I'm going to break down Kanye West and Elon Musk. Also, because I live in California, Gavin Newsom. So those videos are coming up next. Yeah, I will see you guys on next time, and thank you for watching. Bye.
Bye bye.